sure. Guys, I've been practicing social distancing. I've been practicing social distancing for some years now. Hey, um, I'm just getting refreshing for a minute. I like the way my beard looks when I'm like when it's like not combed out or anything. But then I like the way it looks when it is combed down. Okay. I just want to. Okay. Let me see. What do I need to do? Let me just say this one thing. Um, I've been practicing social distancing for years, and it took me a while. It took me a while to realize that how important that was, but I always knew and felt comfortable being by myself because I felt more protected that way. Um, we all have um, ways that we feel most comfortable dealing with alone. However, sometimes when you're with the right person, you won't really feel uncomfortable because that person is has some similarity of having the same traits and lifestyle as you, and even if they don't, they are able to understand it a whole lot better. Um, and then you just feel comfortable because it's more convenient for you, and you just feel no need to feel uncomfortable around them. Um, and then a lot of people wonder why we don't really dwell on feeling bad about not having any type of person around us is because some of us actually feel good from within. So, we feel fulfilled from within, and we don't need anyone else determining the joy that we have inside of us because that's something that's, permanent. That's not going to leave ever. And people like to be by themselves and self distance themselves regardless of the pandemic and regardless of not wanting to get sick from someone else because they were more focused on being safe from the jump. So there was no race from the beginning. um you're racing with a lot of followers if you do not already um, practice self distancing already. Those are the people who usually get tangled up in other people's situation, and those are some of the people who get brainwashed easily. Um, some people just need um, clarity from someone else that they exist because they have another person around them. That is not necessarily um, the truth for everybody, but some people spend way more time um, with other people than they actually do with themselves. So it is like the world is pushing a new world order to get everyone needs to be clean. It's hard to try to shake everyone up at one time when the world is going out of control and everything's going too fast, and they need to find a clever way to get everyone to act right. So what I've noticed, I've heard a lot of stories about the pandemic being set up. It was not real. It was just to scare the nation so that everyone can act right accordingly and have obedience and more structure and order and be more prepared and have the eyes wide open and be more thinkers instead of followers. So I think they want people to think their way out of the old way that the system used to run because not everyone is on the same page. And because we're all here in America, they want everyone to be on the same page. So there will be less confusion. The media won't be having to make up certain things to keep people in line. And um, you know, when you're living a prosperous lifestyle and you're doing what you know is best for you and or your family, then you're starting to create your own life. And you're using common sense. You're not following behind everybody. You follow and take some advice from certain people, but that's only from the ones that you can actually learn from, benefit from, and keep it moving. And some people, however, are still stuck in the way um, life used to be, and they don't really. They can see how things are changing, but they cannot adapt to it. And if this coronavirus scare pandemic is a setup, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It'll probably surprise me for a few seconds, but then I have a great imagination, and I know how it feels um, to know that it was worth it because the people that they're saying these people died and this that could be false also. Okay. Um, those numbers can be false and people could be believing in that. And if it is, hip hip hooray, it didn't really happen. But if they want everyone, like I'm hearing some people say that that was a setup and they wanted a new world order and they couldn't get to everyone's attention at once. So they had to make a sacrifice and make this whole story up in order for the world to listen because it's like they listen to what they see on television before they listen to themselves. So that is a major thing that some people are not committed to doing. Um, they might be committed to doing it sometime, but they don't really stay there um, and utilize that all the time. Like they listen to what they hear on the news, and their brain is focused on that, and it's not really focused on them, what they believe, how they feel about things, what they need to do in order to um, maintain um, an established lifestyle. So the self distancing is actually easy. It makes me feel really happy that people are practicing self distancing. Nobody has to, I mean, it cuts back a lot of crime. If you just stay to yourself, you go do what you got to do to survive that day and then take it day by day. Or if you're smart, you'll try to be prepared. You know, um, self distancing is basically your peace, your peace of mind and your quiet. Because you go to work or you make your money. If you don't go to work, you work for yourself. Great. Okay, that is the way to go. We work for ourselves, and hopefully you'll start working for yourself also. Um, I was a little late doing it, but now that I'm getting the hold of working from home and finding ways to make money. online, even with on my phone, of course, on through apps. I have been able to generate different ideas to maintain this constantly, so that I won't have to rely on standing up on my feet all day at work and um, utilizing the gift of the internet in front of me. So, and I encourage you all to do that too, because they're already pushing people to try to work from home, but they're still going to need people to work in places. So, and then who knows, things might change. They might have robots in Walmart. Walmart may not even be there. I'm hearing that Amazon is buying them out. So that's more electronic than there is people. So I'm pretty sure, if they turn Walmart into Amazon, then okay, have everything delivered to you. Have the robots make it. Everyone else is working from home. You can operate a robot from where you are right now inside of your house. So, so yeah, I don't really find it impossible to practice self distancing, because we do that anyway. You don't always want. I don't want everybody touching me. I don't like everybody touching me. If it's a good person, they have a good spirit about them, they can touch me. But if that person don't, I do not want you touching me. Um, and it's just that. It's not that I'm getting your germs or I'm getting anything like that. It's just a thing about the bleeding woman in the Bible, about the lady who was bleeding. She was bleeding for years and she could not stop bleeding. And she wanted to know where Jesus was at. So they show her where Jesus was at. And Jesus was in the crowd and was a crowd of people surrounding him. And she reached up in the crowd and she touched him. And he turned around and said, "Which one of you have touched me?" And she did not say a word. But as soon as she touched him, she stopped bleeding and she healed. You see, it's power in certain people. And certain people, it's not that you're going to be tainted. It's not that I'm going to be tainted if someone wants to touch me. Because that's how deep the spirit is and what's inside of you. So it's not about that. It's just about how you don't want any type of displease, discomfort, or you don't want any type of basically, I said it, discomfort or the the state of feeling displeased. You don't want that feeling. And it might be for that moment. That person don't even understand what you mean, or why you don't want to be touched. They might have an idea, but they don't really truly understand why you don't want to be touched. That's the reason why um, it's it caused so much, or people have to go through much when they see their favorite celebrity. They cannot touch them. It's not about that person have germs, anything like that. Where that's 20%, 40% of the reason why. The other reasons is why is because there is something about their amount of energy that is operated during the moment you touch up another person. So it should make sense to you guys. But if it don't, just think about it a little bit more further and look up the story about the bleeding woman in the Bible, and you'll be able to understand it a little bit more. But I pretty much summarized the whole entire chapter for you, so you should be able, to get and understand exactly what I am talking about. So, um, yeah. So the self distancing has been easy. I've been practicing self distancing for a long time since I had a former a best friend in high school. Um, we were best friends and we stood by each other's side for years, and we always went to each other's house, and I mainly went to her house, but she came to my house too a lot, but I mainly went to her house. And we did a lot together and it was so fun and we had some good times and some not so good times, but we were able to stick with each other. But we really didn't really like get on each other's nerves. It didn't get on my. She didn't really start getting on my nerves until after I got a little bit older, and she started dating more guys, and I was just like the outcast, like on the outside, just a best friend, but still there. Like some moments I would feel uncomfortable, and then some moments I didn't because I was like, this person is keeping me company, and we're doing some fun things together, and blah blah blah. And some days I didn't have any money to do something, and then she did. And then some days I did, and she didn't, and we kind of shared like that. But I started practicing self distancing after like really, really, really practicing self distancing all my life. I've always practiced self distancing. Um, it's just that when you're younger, you start you. Okay, I got out of my best friend phase at age 22, 23, 24. And then after that, I just stopped doing that. What best friend? There is no best friend. Okay, there are some friends who you can consider your best friend, but it's very rare. But I've gotten out of that phase of just saying, "Oh, this is my best friend," blah blah blah, and all that stuff. So yeah, oh, that's so funny. But no, I practice that every day of my life, and just going to I'm gonna have to say just just having the moment of doing things with that involves another person has to be for a need and not always a want, because you do all your needs by yourself, because only you know your needs and how comfortable you're going to feel about how your life turns out. And 9 times out of 10, you can get help from other people, but make sure that's when you're out there really doing something that is going to benefit a need for you, not for just once and once. And then next thing you know, the person that you're with, they're you're just wasting time because they're just soaking up energy and taking away your youth away from you when you could be having youth by yourself. But if they shouldn't feel bad because they have to do it to themselves, why would they want to? But you can tell, okay, some people they might consider to be leeches. They just everything that you have, they want, and then every now and then they'll have something, but that's just to keep you to think that you need them for something. But you see, some people aren't woke, and some people are awake, and I've awoken around 22 or 21, um, probably way before that. Um, I just had only one friend that I considered my best friend, and after that, after I got hurt by my best friend, um, I did not. And when I say when I got hurt by my best friend, I told you the story before. Um, I let her come stay with me, and you know, we had an agreement that, well, it was my place, and we agreed um, on sharing the rent as long as she was actually in there. Didn't ask for much because I let her move all her stuff in my house, and I gave away my master bedroom and moved into my office, which was really small, and gave her the master bedroom, being a nice, kind, generous friend, and it just went from down from there. I didn't really show it because it's my house and I don't act like that anyway. And then it would have been uncomfortable for me to let her stay in there after I let her move all my stuff in there and just have this attitude and grudge in my own house. That wouldn't be looking right. Um, it's like, why not just get rid of her? But she had just lost her mom, and I wanted to open up my doors for her. So I kind of understood that, and you know, but then it turned out that she was just a feisty, out of control girl who never had her own place, and I was pretty much brainwashed. I was a little bit, but not too brainwashed. Um, I just enjoyed the fact that I had a friend. So yeah. But didn't know that she was going to do that. So that's what made me, you know, practice my self distancing and or well in the best friend thing at age 22. Like, okay, really, Green? You're gonna give all of your heart out and just think it's gonna be fair? Yeah, because it's me. Why wouldn't you want to be fair and unfair? Um, but it turned out that she did not actually feel the same way I did, and she was holding a whole bunch of money for herself and just living rent free. And it just like I'm like, are you serious? I invited you. I have a 2 bedroom apartment, and I'm paying this rent by myself, and I let you come along, and you're gonna be using my water and my lights and turning on the heat when it gets cold and stuff like that, and you can have your guests come over while I'm at work and stuff like that, like you're in the refrigerator and cooking and everything like that. Yeah. um Hold on. You in the kitchen? No, it did not. They didn't give no information on there. They was just saying, like, they didn't get there that date. They just saying that season not only not two benefits will be available, but they not telling you when they are in front. So it should be, well, we should be able to set something this month. I'm sorry. I'm back. Okay. It says macaroni and cheese and some broccoli. Mm. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna eat this. Let me set this down here. Not in front of the computer. um, I'm gonna eat a broccoli. Wait a minute. So yeah, I've been practicing self distancing for a while, and I've been doing this. I've been doing this. Um, it's actually more safer for you because only you know what you need from another person. Need, and only you know what you want from another person. So why waste your time not spending it with yourself when you can do so much by yourself? You can you can see how much you're able to do just by you spending time with yourself. Yes, you can also see that when you're with someone else, but it's that someone else always the person that you need to be around. That's the thing. So people need to understand that. Um. So yeah, self distancing is so easy. Think about it. Not everybody feels like getting up every morning, losing sleep, feeling like they want to still stay asleep, but they got to get up in the morning and fighting all of that rest when you could have gotten it. That's bad for your health. Who does not want to? I mean, not everybody wants to go to work and see everybody at work. You want to go to work and see certain people and do certain things, but you don't want to go to work and see everybody at work all the time. You know, everyone has carries different spirits and different attitudes, and you don't need no one else's bad day to affect yours. And because you were there for the first 2 minutes, now your whole day at work, you're thinking about your coworker when you should be thinking about something else that you're able to do. And it just interrupted your whole mood, and it may not interrupt your whole mood for entirely, but why would you not want to have none of that and have all good every day, or be stuck inside of a warehouse and it's daylight outside, and all you do is see darkness. You never seen the daylight. Like you cut out like 75% of your life working like a slave, not being able to fulfill what you're really good at fulfilling for yourself. Don't you want a name for yourself? Don't you want people to know who you are? Don't you want people to know that how much skills or things that you have in order to offer for money and to benefit you and other people so that you won't be looked down upon when you're walking out there in public? You don't want to feel like an outcast. You already pretty much live like an outcast. Only the people that know you are the people in your community and some people from overseas or on the internet, but you want people to know you regardless. So yeah, um, it's okay if you don't want nobody to know you. That's because you have to deal with people. So now that you're by yourself, you can work from home. You don't have to deal with nobody, but you can help them on the internet, still generate your money, and still be able to put yourself out there, and people know who you are. And then you'll be more safer. That's why I don't never go out there. I mean, I do, but self quarantine, that stuff is nothing. I was like, thank you, yes, everybody don't go to work. Woohoo! I was really happy. I was even more happy when the government started initiating out checks out to people, saying we're going to give you some money for this and that. Okay, I'm fine with it. I've been getting up, going to work, and missing sleep. I want to go to sleep and get some rest. That is not healthy for you. The people that make the most money in the world are doing nothing. They're just laying back and watching money build up, and they're helping other people and still helping themselves, still being a good person, still doing what they desire and finding ways to benefit the economy. It's not that hard, you guys. So self-distancing is easy. Just refer it back to the bleeding woman when the lady touched Jesus. Bye, guys.